I did it. I did it, fellas. I built the kit. Let's have a sip. I built the kit. Let's have a sip, fellas. Good coffee. Good model building, fellas. I finished it. It almost got the best of me, but I did it. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I built a lot worse kits than this. I have built some real winners. Anyway, I got it all done. I was hoping to maybe like sell it on eBay, but I don't think I am. I did get a little bit of fogging in the canopy, on the canopy glass. I think I didn't get this like little spot right here totally sealed up. It had to be a little bitty spot because there's just a little bit of fogging in there where I think the paint kind of like mists and gets up in there. Somebody told me to coat the inside with Future, so I may try that. I don't like coating the outside of my canopies with anything like Future or any like clear substance, because if paint seeps in under my masking tape for the framing, if paint seeps in under there, then if I got a clear coat under there, then I can't really take isopropyl alcohol or any other solvent and then clean off the paint, the leakage. So I don't like coating mine, but maybe the inside might be fine. I don't know. We'll try that next time. So overall, I am happy with the kit, and we'll take a look at it here in a minute, but I got a little bit of commentary on this kit. Excuse me. So if you want to skip that and go straight to looking at the plane, I'll put a timestamp either here or here, maybe, I don't know, right there. But anyway, overall, I am really happy with excuse me, with how this turned out. I really think it actually looks good. And let me show you something here. So, we'll take a look at this a little bit closer, but I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, not bad, all considering. And all the work that I did over here on the air brakes, I think they look pretty good, fellas. I mean, gosh dang it, give myself some credit. Give myself some credit. So, I think this might be the only other F-104 that I built. And I built this probably 7 or 8 years ago. And I thought I did a really good job on this, okay? Now look at this paintwork. It's absolutely horrible. I did some kind of a wash. I'm not exactly sure what I did. Look how messy and nasty this thing is. And I pulled this out the other day and I thought, I did a good job on that. This is what I had in my head, that I remembered I did a really good job on this kit. And as I look at it, the seams seem to be okay. I really can't tell. I see a seam line down the bottom of ghost seam. But look at that nastiness. So, and then I take a look at this, and there are lots of issues with this build as far as like, I could have done better. I should have done better. But look how nice and clean and sharp everything is. Now, I do have some ghost seams on the bottom, and I don't know. I think once I got to the bottom part, I kind of like said, screw it. Nobody's going to see the darn bottom. But just compare these two. This is like 8 years ago, and this is currently. So I've progressed a lot. I think I've gotten a lot better. And I think obviously we all do, the more models that we build. And I've built hundreds of models between that one and this one. So take that into consideration when you're building a model and it just doesn't turn out as good as you thought. It takes lots of practice and experience. And I'm sure if I'm still modeling in 10 years and I look back at this one, I'll be like, that was garbage. I don't know. Anyway, so let's discuss this kit just a bit. So I wrote down some of the pros and the cons. I thought this was a popular kit. It seemed to be popular, but like I couldn't find too many people that actually built it. I mean, there are a few builds. online, but have another sip. I think some of the cons are the price. I look at the price and it's like over $100. Now the guy that emailed me that gave me this kit, he said he got it cheaper. It was like, he got it like on sale or something for like 60 some odd dollars. But I can't find it anywhere for less than 100. And it was more like upwards of 100 and like 14, 140, somewhere, you know, in between that range. The mold seam lines, the mold seams, or whatever, those seams that you get from the molding, really bad in this kit. Although the plastic, and it's one of the pros in my opinion, is the plastic's really nice on this kit, on the Italeri plastic. It's nice and it's soft, but not too soft. It sands really well. Really good plastic, poor molding. Speaking of molding, the panel lines on this thing are just, they're gargantuan. They're not consistent. Probably the worst feature of this kit, in my opinion, are the poor molding on the panel lines. They're too big. And I mean, look at, see, it's kind of hard. We'll take a look at it over there, but like some of the rivets, they're actually just lines. See that? Where it didn't mold very well. Like up here. They're like elongated lines. And just the depth of the riveting and the molded in detail, just not very good. So that's probably, I think, the worst feature of this kit. The decals were awesome. So, I mean, that's you know, one of the good things about this kit is that just awesome decals. Oh, one of the other cons that I had written down were just poor fit when you close the doors. Now, I think this is the one that I closed up using the epoxy putty. And, I mean, I don't think you'd notice. You wouldn't notice. I mean, it's not the greatest panel line fit, but once you get it painted and you get the decals on there, you really can't tell. And the most trouble that I had, I think the part of this kit that caused me the most problems were these air brake doors. Those were like the worst issue that I had. And although they look good now, and they probably look better now than they would have if I would have used the 2-part epoxy putty to close them up. If I had to do it all over again, I would do the same thing I did with this other door over here. And I would use the 2-part epoxy putty, fill it in, and get those flush as I could, and just leave it that way. That's what I would do. But, you know, you live and you learn. I thought I'd built this kit before, but I don't think I've ever built this one. It must have just been the 148 Hasegawa that I showed you. So anyway, those are kind of my pros and cons. You know, I hope if you're thinking about getting this kit, or you got this kit and you want to build it, I hope this video series helps. I tried to just point out some of the stuff that, like this stuff that I thought would cause you problems. And so anyway, I hope this video series helped. Let's go take a look at the finished model, at a closer look at it, and then I'll flash up some pictures, and I really appreciate you watching. Alrighty, fellas, let's take a closer look at this thing. So from 3 feet away, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, if you're just sitting there on the shelf and you're like 3 feet away, you're like, man, that looks pretty cool. Like I said before, I did get some fogging in the canopy, and I thought maybe that might happen. I thought I had sealed it up good enough. I guess I didn't, so it is what it is. Now, when I put my final clear coat on here, I used the Tamiya Gloss Clear, and then I went back and I somewhat masked off with, because it has decals on it, I really couldn't use tape, because tape is going to rip up those decals most likely, at least in places. I used some of my flat clear, and I kind of masked off with Post-it notes. Masked off this anti-glare paint up here, and I sprayed that with my Winsor & Newton matte varnish. I also did the nose, and I also did sections of the tail here. I kind of masked those off. I did some of it freehand, just trying to get, you know, in there tight with an airbrush, and I sprayed some of this flat as well, and I think it just gives a nice crisp look to it when some of the parts are flat and then other parts are clear. I also flat coated the wings. I'm not sure if they were supposed to be glossy or not, but I just thought they looked better being just a different sheen. The bottom, I've got ghost seams and pour where I didn't really sand as well as I should have, like along here. I've got some ghost seams right along the bottom. I didn't bother doing any wash on the landing gear. At that point, I was just sick of it. I did use some super glue which is not what I normally do, to try to fiddle and get these landing gear bay doors on. Somebody asked me about these being partially closed. Now that's an option in the kit. You can do that. I assume that they sometimes close these doors while the landing gear are down, probably to prevent stuff from going up into the landing gear bay as much as possible. That would be my best guess. I may be wrong. And as you saw, I did glue these on prior to painting, which is something that I don't think I've ever done, is glue the landing gear doors on before I paint. And just because I knew they were going to be fiddly and trying to get those darn things on, they didn't really fit that well. So I glued those on with Tamiya extra thin just to have them nice secured on there. I did use the clear resin to put the lights in. I probably should have came in here and painted the inside of those white. But again, at the end, I was just kind of like done with this kit. I was done. I was like, I just want to get this thing done. I didn't really want to mess with it anymore. I created my own pitot tube with a copper rod and some brass tubing, just so I can insert it without having to mess with that cheap plastic part that had a big mold line right down the center of it. So this was a better option. A lot of times I will create my own pitot tubes because I really don't like messing with the plastic ones. They usually look like crap, and they're just a lot sturdier. The missiles come on and off, obviously, with the magnets. So, you know, overall, I'm happy with this kit, or I'm happy with my build. Kits, obviously, we talked about that. Not the greatest in the world. But, you know, about midway through, I thought, man, am I going to be able to finish this? Looks like it's going to look like crap. I think it actually looks pretty decent. So, there we go, fellas. I'll flash up some pictures, and I really appreciate you guys watching. I will catch you on the next series, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. I think I got something special planned. And I don't know if everybody's going to like it, but it's something that I'm kind of looking forward to doing. So here's some pictures, and I will catch you next time.